Culture, powered by Flavor, with Dan, Shukal, and Itzy Red Scarf.
Very, very special guest up in the building. Oh my gosh, from the light side, 828 Avondale representing. It's Melodownz.
Stop having me, brothers.
Brother, good to have you in. What's happening? What's new?
Oh man, so much, Like, just trying to use my platform in that just to kind of do different things. Like, I got a hot sauce that I dropped not long ago with Hallertau Brewery. I dropped a new single in the last year, and just trying to, keep the momentum up and just keep going forward. So been busy.
Talk to us quickly about this hot sauce, because we do a thing with Hit Up Ange every week.
And
Hit Up Ange is like, you need to try this hot sauce in the beer.
I should have bought you guys some shit. My bad.
Bro, straight, hey, we'll suss you out with some delivery details.
I got you, man.
But for real, she's telling us that the hot sauce is legit. So how'd the hot sauce come around?
So man, I've always been a fan of, like, I'm not really a fan of like real spicy stuff, but I got inspired by that Hot Ones segment on YouTube. Yeah. And how they just like hit the hot sauce, and I love chicken. Like, I love hot sauce on like food and chicken and stuff like that. And I was like, end of 2018, I was like, man, I want to make my own. So I tried my own batch in that, and I set up at the markets, and I put on my Instagram. I got my hot sauce, I made my labels, got the bottles, everything, like all DIY kind of buzz. And then the lady at the markets was like, yo, you can't sell your stuff here. I was like, you don't have a food permit? And I was just like, oh, what? And so like she was yelling at me, and I was like, yo, calm down, down, it's all good. And then she just let me sell my hot sauce for that one day. And then I got, some of the government got involved, and like IRD and stuff, like kind of hitting me up like, yo, where's this, where are these sales going to? Do you pay tax on this? How many have you sold? Asking all these questions and stuff like that. And I was just like, damn, what? Like, I was like, what about the little girl down the road selling her lemonade? It's the same buzz, but and then I ran out. I think I had made like 250 bottles, and that sold out like the first market I did, and I was just like, yo, mean. And then so after that, I played Laneway last year, and I got approached by the owner of Hallertau, David. Hit me up, and he was like, yo, we should do something with the hot sauce. I heard you had a little bit of dramas or whatever with your DIY approach to it. So they were really supportive, and we got to use their facilities, and it was cool, man. I got to see how like the beer was made and stuff, and it was a cool experience. And just trying to, I don't know, like just branch off music, you know what I mean, and just try and dabble with other kind of things business wise and stuff. So it's cool, all learning for me.
I think one of the cool things about you diversifying, is that the word they use in business? Diversifying
your portfolio.
Diversifying your portfolio is you're almost, I mean, not just being creative, because you're a pretty creative cat. Let's be honest here, brother.
Thank you, bro.
If there's one thing people can't not say about you, is that you're not creative. You're one of the most creative dudes out there.
Thanks, man.
But to go into the food sector now, and be able to sort of go in there, implement, develop, and put to sale these jars of hot sauce.
It was
amazing.
Cool. It was cool because David from Hallertau like is already friends in that kind of sector. He's kind of got an experience, and he's got people that he already knows in there. And so he set up a meeting with someone from like who's like friends with people from Countdown, not friends, but does business with like Countdown and grocery shops and things like that, and like the dude from Kali's and stuff. So we all met up, and they were giving me advice, and because I really wanted to put the sauce in supermarkets, but they were like, man, you need a lot of capital, you need a lot of time to do advertising, you need people in stores doing samples and stuff, and I just don't have that capacity or money on me like right now to do that. So I was like, okay, we'll just do the internet approach and stuff like that. But it's cool, man. It was all a learning experience.
How many units have you sold sort of since you've, I mean, I know you sold those 250 in the first go, but how many have you sold since then, if you don't mind me asking?
So the first batch we made about 1,000 bottles, and we're down to our like we still got stuff like giveaway stuff for like people like yourselves, and just like, I want to say media, but just like friends and
famous people like Itzy.
Just like good people, want to give some sauce away and stuff. So we're kind of down to the last couple hundred, I think. But it's cool, man.
It interests me about the food stuff, because you see a lot of dudes get into music or get into sport and then they just rely on that, and there's nothing else. But you've sort of looked at something which you thought was like a little bit of you put into a jar, and what's gone from being just, I guess, a hobby type product is now a legit commercial venture.
Yeah, I know. I love creating things. I just love making, like, you know, having an idea in your head and you're just like, man, I want this on paper, and then I want to see it in front of my eyes. And if that doesn't happen for me, I get really upset. I'm not upset, I get disheartened, and I feel like angry. Not angry, but like, oh man, like, man, why can't this happen? So I believe like it's just manifestation, you know, just I'm a big believer in manifesting what you want to happen, making your reality a real thing. So yeah.
Has that made you want to make more or other ventures into different businesses?
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm not like the richest artist out here, but like the money I do get, I'm really keen to try and invest it in things that will help me, and like just kind of like enterprise buzz. I just like trying things out, even if it fails, you know. It's like, oh, at least I tried it. But yeah, it's definitely something I'm interested in. But I definitely need some more knowledge, and I know I'm just learning on the way. So yeah.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained, like they normally say. And your music's also reflective of that as well, because, you know, if there's one thing you look at when you look at, say, your catalog of music, you're very diverse in the styles and the different type of artists that you do collabs with and that sort of thing. So is that something that really gets you going, being able to try different things?
Yeah, man. Like, I love working with other artists. Like, for me, it's a challenge. Like, to be honest, some of the collabs I've done in the past, like, I'm not a big fan of the music, but it's like, I want to just try and challenge myself to make it the best version of that I can, if that makes sense. Like, I want to just be like, oh, yo, send me this song. It's not really my buzz, but I want to see if I can add my flavor to that and just try and better the song for their purpose. So yeah, it's cool, man. Just experimenting, I guess.
Speaking of music, your latest anthem, man, and that is an anthem. You know, that Live and Die in Avondale, or AD.
Yeah. Sure, bro.
How did that record come about?
That's all Choice Vaughn and Tom Scott, pretty much. Like, shout out Choice Vaughn. He's been working on that whole project for like the last, I would say, 7 years or something, you know. Like, him and Tom were supposed to do like a collaborative project, and then it ended up being kind of Choice Vaughn's buzz, because I think Tom had his Avondale Bowling Club projects, and he's still got the Average Rap Band stuff. So he's like a busy man doing different creative, like music. And so they just sent me that song ages ago, and I wrote a verse to it, and then Tom had this idea, nah bro, let's just do like go back and forth, and I was like, yo, that could be a vibe. And so we linked up again, because I just had a 16 like that I wrote, and then I laid it down, and then he came back like, yo, we should switch it up and just go back and forth. I think it will be really cool. And I was like, yo, dope. But yeah, it was kind of just like, for Tom, I guess I think it was just like a casual drop for him, you know. And I didn't realize the impact it would have on the community and people from Avondale and even outside of Avondale that kind of resonate with the song. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Shout out Choice Vaughn, shout out Tom Scott.
I was gonna say, did it surprise you the effect that it did have on people in the market, people listening, people that listen to Flavor, for instance, because it's been huge.
I was like, what? Like, heard on my FM. It's just like, I know I shouldn't mention, like, heard on my FM, heard on Flavor, heard on BFM, like all the radio stations. Shout out all the radio stations. I shouldn't.
You're good,
but like, that's what I mean. Like, I heard on all the radio stations, and I was like, bro, this isn't even like, to me, it's not even a commercial or like radio song, but because of the impact that it has, I guess it's dope.
Oh, man,
I'm happy. I'm proud.
I don't live in Avondale. I was born and raised in Mount Albert, which is not too far away. But
shout out Mama's Tea House.
Yeah, Mama's Tea House. Yeah, but when you were talking about Green Jade, like, that's iconic to Avondale, you know. And I see that you also you have close links to Justin Tuffer.
Yeah, he's one of the Usos. Yeah. So he's like, I wouldn't say my little homie, he's my big homie now. But growing up in Avondale, he would always come to like Eastdale, and we just chill at the park and play basketball, play manhunt. So he was just part of he's just part of the community, part of the hood, really. And now he's killing it, man. Like, damn, like, I used to go to parties and he would just be like chilling, and me and the birds would be freestyling at the back of the house and that. But it's cool. Joining
us now, DJ Rocky Ponting, man, another one representing
himself,
but representing from down where?
Thank you very much. Representing Dunedin originally, but Mount Albert resident these days.
Man, you've been all over
You're
the
from
place.
Dunedin originally,
brother. I was born there, believe it or not.
Wow.
So I'm so cultured.
Nice.
Just say that.
Bro, when I had a show in Timaru, I didn't even know where that was before I went there. But I had a show there, and I met some Māoris that they're Iwis from Dunedin, and I was like buzzing out on like that whole vibe. No, it's cool.
I buzzed out when I went to Invercargill to do to DJ, and I couldn't believe how many Samoans were down in Invercargill, and they all rolled their R's too, like self-inders and stuff.
Bro, I almost got rolled last time I was there. I got pulled up by skinheads. Yeah, I got pulled up by skinheads, bro. And they were calling me like heaps of names. I was keen at first, and then, bro, like like 5 dudes got out. I was like, oh no, later, boat.
And that was in Invercargill.
Yeah, my girl, she works for Youthline, and so she had to do a placement there for like 2 or 3 months or something. And so I was like, I'll come stay with you for like 3 weeks, and I stay with her, and I met him some musos because the SIT down there is free. That's right. Free education. So they had a free studio, and I was just like pretty much just jamming every day. But the Rolling Stones called it the asshole of the world. Invercargill.
Said to the place where my sister was born.
But it's like, damn, it's just the conditions during winter, and like it's all the way
tough, man.
Yeah,
you're bred tough down there, bro.
I was surprised how big the hip hop market was though down there. So first time I went into gigs down there, my mate Alan used to have a bar down there called Bar Luca. He used to manage it. Yeah, Phil used to go down there, do quite a bit of gigs and stuff, and Manchu's been down there. It's pretty cool. But everyone always says they get down there and they're surprised with like how receptive the crowd is to hip hop, because you kind of think, I know this is probably like a little bit of a Auckland centric point of view, but you would kind of think, wow, it's like a bit rocky, and they're going to play Guns N' Roses or that sort of stuff down there. But no, man, they were right into the bangers.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you did a gig? Did you do a gig in Timaru though?
Yeah, in Timaru for Soundsplash, and like I don't know why, but I thought it was near Taranaki. Like my bad for being like geographically dyslexic or whatever you want to call it, man. And then I googled it, and then me and my DJ Baz, we like ended up in Christchurch, and I looked at my itinerary. I was like, "Yo, what am I doing in Christchurch?" Like, and then I was like, "Timaru, of course." Like, damn.
Is Timaru part of Otago or is it part of Canterbury?
I want to say it's part of Otago, yeah.
Yeah, part of Otago. All right, because I get a bit lost down there.
I'm lost once you leave Auckland, eh? Yeah. I am that cliched Jaffa. You know, when you go to any other place in New Zealand, they're like, "Oh, you're just another bloody Aucklander." I'm like, yeah, that's me.
You got to go, man.
Musically for you, you've just come off obviously this period with To Live and Die in AD. Yeah. You know, it's a huge amounts of reception, really super positive. What's next for you musically?
So last year, me and my team, I've just recently signed to Def Jam and Universal.
Congrats.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I try not to like announce things. I just try and just keep the ball moving. But
just that humble flex.
Because it's like, to me, it's not a thing to be like, yo, I'm signed to a label. You know what I mean? It's New Zealand. So
are you the first New Zealand hip hop artist to be signed to Def Jam?
I think so. Maybe I haven't checked the stats or I haven't checked the facts or anything. But I think I'm one of the first. Right. Yeah. But it was a cool little not little deal, but it was a cool thing that happened. So I've been like, it was a couple of years in the making, just like, because I'm all about being independent, and I'm all about like owning everything and stuff like that. But it got to a point where I was just like, man, like the opportunities that are right at my doorstep, I should just take them. Like can we swear on this shit?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm just gonna take this shit. And I've been reading this book called I was reading a book called Fearless, and it's all about like doing things that you would never do to get further in life, or to pursue something that you want to do, like your dream or whatever. And so I was just like, fuck it, man, I'm just gonna take this risk. It's nothing that can like destroy me as a human or as a being, or and as long as I make sure I'm creatively in control and I got a good team around me, then let's do it. So yeah, it was a cool opportunity. And yeah, last year I went to LA and got to work with so many cool producers, like DJ Khalil. He's worked on like stuff with Kendrick. He was on like, he got 8 joints with Kendrick on Good Kid, Mad City, and Denzel Curry linked up with him, linked up with Dreamville. Like, man, it was crazy. So just making these relationships and trying to build outside of New Zealand has kind of been my intention for the last few months. And I'm not used to doing that, so I was just like, yo, because I'm from Avondale, I was just like, bro, what am I even fucking doing here? You know what I mean? So everything's just new to me. This kind of, I don't know if you want to call it like level up in my game or whatever, but yeah, it's definitely for the better. So yeah, I'm loving it. It's cool.
Your creative side, so obviously everybody knows about you as a musician, but a lot of people who don't know the inner workings of where you came from don't realize that you originally came from being a bomber. Yeah, with graffiti and stuff. Talk to us a little bit about that. I mean, are you still driven to do art or anything like that?
Like, I love drawing more than graffiti these days, but like I tried doing a graph piece the other day, not on a wall but just on paper, and man, my steez is rude these days. Like my throw ups, I was like, bro, I need to practice, but I still jam straights and like wild style and whatnot, and I love drawing characters and stuff like that, so I'm still like drawing every now and then, but ever since this music has kind of just taken over, I've just been focused on that. But in saying that, for my projects, I like to draw and do stuff for like cover arts and stuff like that. So it's still like an outlet for me to do that as well. So yeah, no, it's dope. Was
graffiti your first love when it came to like this culture?
Yeah, definitely. Like I used to listen to like Linkin Park and Korn and like metal and stuff like that, you know. So up until my cousins came over for Bone Thug CD, and I was just like, why have I not heard this shit? What the hell is going on? Like, and that's how I got into hip hop. But yeah, before that I was just like rock and stuff like that, and then graffiti. So my cousin started tagging, I started following, just being a follower, and next minute I'm in love with this art form. So
there's I read somewhere that there was a song on a mixtape that you did that would go around like Avondale parties.
Oh yeah.
What was the name of that song?
Bro, it was so rude, man. Like, so back in my day, oh shit, I'm old now. Like back in my day, or our day maybe, Bebo was a thing. Yeah.
The Bebo.
Yeah, and so like I had my little music page up, and I used to like upload songs on Bebo and stuff, and I just used to record. Like I used to go. My cousin went to Counter-Strike, or like the Netcaf, and he stole like those headphones with the microphone piece. And I came home one day and he had like downloaded this crack software, and that was the microphone. I was like, yo, what is this? He was like, yo, it's our studio. I was like, yo, mean. Like right in my mom's dining room, and we're like just started making music, and the first song we made was called All You Need to Know. And like, I know that this bird's cancelled. It was over at R. Kelly and Snoop Dogg beat, I think, and it was so misogynist. It was like, all you need to know, use a hoe that sucks dick. Bro, that was the first song we ever made. And I just started sending it to friends on like Bluetooth and stuff like that. And then it went around like the school, and then it went around like go to house parties, and people got it and stuff. So I used to go to house parties, and they'll like know me for that song. What a rude dude, bro. Like, it's straight rude shit. Yeah.
Did you ever get to perform at any of those house parties?
Nah, man. I used to freestyle battle though. Like I used to love just having ciphers and stuff like that. And yeah, it was cool, man. Like obviously, like the drinking culture in New Zealand starts quite young, and so I was introduced to like alcohol around like 15 and 16, underage drinking at parties and whatnot. But then the freestyling thing would happen. I know you feel confident when you're a bit drunk, you know, so I would just be like, yo, next minute some dude's like, yo, this guy wants a battle, and yeah, it's cool.
Was like the battle or the cypher scene like competitive when you were at these parties?
Sometimes it just ended up into scraps and that.
Yeah.
That's a true story, right?
Yeah, it's funny.
That's a true story.
Yeah. It's funny because we just had an interview earlier today with a group called 1 Ounce.
Oh, yo.
Yeah, the freestyle.
Dealer in that,
yeah. So Dealer and them were in here before, and Big CS and JP, and having a bit of a chat with us about that, and just the growth that side of the business.
But actually, I've battled Dealer before.
Yeah.
So like I suck at battling, but I just used to love it because I was like, back in the days when you're drunk, you're just hostile, you know. And,
for real.
And then my cousin was like DJing at that same event at Galatos or whatever, and he's like, oh, you should come battle. And I didn't even know what the hell I was getting myself into. And then it was just like
straight to the big leagues.
Straight. I was like, oh shit. And then I got put in front of D-Love. I think he sassed me, like shout out D-Love. And I must have been wasted. I was just like off the top. It was off the top one. I wasn't as prepared before. But I was just like, holy shit, this is like a real thing. And now I would have been like 18 or like 17 or something. So it was like my first introduction to like 1 Ounce. Oh, this was before it was called 1 Ounce. But And now it's so cool to see the culture grow, you know, because I feel like we're at the bottom of the globe, and like some people outside of New Zealand don't even know we have these kind of things that pop off, these events and stuff. So shout out for those guys to for just keeping it growing and that keeping it alive.
There's a bunch of talented cats that come out of New Zealand.
Yeah.
And, I mean, look at the hip hop dance scene as well.
Yeah.
Like Royal Family and the other crews that go to the United States and kill over there.
Straight up.
World leaders,
Like definitely world leaders. And, you know, think about what Paris has done for so many hip hop and R&B artists to, you know, elevate their music videos or elevate their live performances and stuff. Man, we got talented people here.
It's crazy.
All of the elements of the culture, like Caleb, he's a world champion DJ.
Yep.
We got
dope
graffiti artists. We got breakers.
Everything.
You know,
For real, guys that ball, you know, and have been in around the NBA or played at college level.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Corey Webster's another one who's really should be playing at that next level, you know. And I think the fact that he comes from New Zealand has probably maybe affected his opportunities, because he should have been playing in there, like no doubt. As a ball fan,
no
you know,
doubt, man. Even some of those preseason NBA games he was playing, like man, he was killing it too. He was getting like 9 points a game and stuff.
Bro, with limited time.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Like for real. Actually, talking about basketball, are you a bit of a ball fan?
Yeah, I used to play ball. I actually played with I played for Avondale, and when Corey was playing for Westlake, but I would have been like year 10, year 11. I was a bit younger. But no,
the game you scored 50 points on him. Is it the one you were talking about before?
What's that?
You scored 50 points on him in one game. Is that what you were telling us before?
Nah.
Was it when you dunked on Corey?
Straight one more.
Broke his ankles.
It was
Like,
that was cool. But it's so cool to see like how far everyone is. Like Abercrombie, even what's his name? Rob Lowe, I think.
Yeah.
He's the tall ass dude from Westlake. Yeah, and just to see where everyone's at now is crazy. Like the ones that pursued it. Even when I was playing rugby, like a few of my friends are playing. Like Ben Lamb's killing it. Like Francis Eiley's overseas. Like Sayafiki was in the Sharks and that. So like everyone that I know from when I was younger who stuck to what they were doing and now doing great things. You know what I mean? And I feel that's cool because everyone talks about this tall poppy syndrome and shit like that, and I feel it's a real thing in New Zealand. Like, and I learned that when I went to LA. Like, I had a few sessions with a couple other American artists, and they would rock up in the room and press play on their song and be like, "Yo, listen to my new shit. This shit hard, right?" Like, and they'll look at you like, you know, they're just wilding out. They got confidence in their shit, and they want to show you that they're confident in it. Whereas here, it's like, if I make a new song, I go to the boys, I'll press play and I'll put my head down, like, and I'll like kind of go away, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel that's the difference between us kind of getting further and like the rest of the world. Like, I think Style Benny was even talking about it. Like, if you got confidence in yourself, just back it. And that's one thing I'm still learning to try and do, because as an artist, you can be real insecure about like yourself and the music you want to express and you want people to hear and shit like that. So
Bro, we're a country of haters, like really.
Straight up.
Like for real, you know, whether you're trying to make your way in business or you're trying to make your way in sport or whatever, we're constantly told by people that we're not good enough or, you know, or looked down on regardless of skill level or whatever, you know. It sucks. And Stylebender spoke about it when he accepted that Hellberg Award and also when he was here on the podcast as well. He got into a little bit of a chat about it as well and talked about the tall poppy syndrome. And man, we need to learn to elevate each other and elevate everybody, you know. And it's tough though. It's a tough world out there, especially when there's aspects of competitiveness.
Straight up, man.
Well, just with your time over in the States, what was their reception to your music and your style?
I was buzzy because, like, to be honest, I didn't think I had a foot to stand on over there. It's just like when you go on the street, there will be a homeless dude that can rap better than half of us over here, you know what I mean? And it's like, we come from New Zealand, and if they looked at it on the map, we're at the bottom. So they're like, the fuck are you doing here trying to make music, bro? Like, we don't even let Atlanta rappers in here, you know what I mean? It's hard because it's like, where you from? Atlanta, New York, like, it's like, where's like, where you from? It's like, oh, New Zealand. It's like, fuck you doing here, bro? But like, one thing that was cool is they were like, I told them I'm from New Zealand, and then they asked my background, like, what's your nationality? And then I was like, oh, Māori, Samoan, Māori, European. And then, like, obviously they had never heard of what a Māori is. They know what European is, but they were like, shit, you Samoan, bro? And I was like, yeah. They're like, all right, where your cousins from? And I'm like, oh, I got some cousins in Carson, some in the Bay Area. And then they're like, oh shit, all right. Like, you know, they look at us Polynesians as like fighters and people that have hands, and like they're like, oh shit. Like, as soon as I said I was Samoan, he was like, all right, yo, my best friend, he played gridiron. Like, and it's just like they relate that to whatever their experiences with islanders are, you know what I mean? And usually it'll be through sports or through security or through something of that nature. And so for me to have that, I was already kind of like put my points up a little bit. But no, it was cool. Yeah.
Especially in hip hop, I think when you look at the impact in the West Coast that the Booyah tribe had in hip hop and R&B, you know, that's what you hear a lot from some of the boys. Like even with artists that come and tour down here, we do shows with. They talk about the Polynesian rappers talk about the influence Booyah had.
They made Eminem say the word luau.
You know
what I mean? that track.
They're pioneers for sure, man. Like I love Booyah Tribe and what they've done for our culture, especially for hip hop as well. Even for rock, you know, like they switched it. It was a fusion. But yeah, the OGs, man.
And tough people in Cali too. That whole West Coast, they had to survive over there, you know? Was it, who was telling a story about Booyah Tribe chasing down like Suge Knight and stuff at parties and stuff, like gangster. Red was talking about it and stuff. It's
some real life shit.
Real gangster stuff too, you know? I mean.
And that's like even going over there and just like, because some of the Usos picked me up and took me to the hood and went through Crenshaw and stuff like that. And it's crazy to see how much respect you get as a Samoan from other cultures and stuff like that. And then how much hate you can get too. Like, we're in Inglewood, and then it's like we have to go to a Tongan house to roll through there because you're Samoan, you know what I mean? So I didn't quite understand why it's like what's the beef with the Dokus and the Usos, you know? It's just like, bro, if you see your cousin with his brain out, do you think I'm just gonna shake his hand? You know what I mean? And for me, I was like, oh shit, you gotta think about this shit. This shit doesn't happen here. It's like we're Dokus all day because we support each other. Yeah, we might have a fight at a party and might have our differences, but it's like over there, it's real shit. It's like nothing you could probably compare to here, if that makes sense. And but yeah, no, that's just my personal experience, like an opinion. But yeah.
So you yourself, you suffered like a personal loss when you were in school days. Was there a close friend of
one of the we were like 15, and one of the some dude pulled up and stabbed one of the homies like right outside the school, and he ended up passing away that night actually. So that was kind of like, it was random. It wasn't like anything like, oh, I got beef with this dude, I'm gonna go stab him. But I think the dude that did it had beef with one of the older boys or something like that, and I think he was looking for someone else, but they had a similar name or something. I'm not too sure, but yeah, it was pretty kind of sad what happened, but yeah, it's just what it is, eh?
Did that put you into like a, you know, because when you go through those sort of traumatic things, did that put you in like a bad mental space, and were you writing music at that time, or
kind of? I was kind of just going a little bit off the rails in terms of like staying in school and then playing sports, and then that happening, and had like couple of the homies commit suicide around the same time, you know. So as a kind of kid that's going through puberty and chasing girls and trying to stay on top of school and make my mother like happy at the same time, was like, shit, what the fuck is going on with my life? Like, you don't really think about like staying in line, you know? It's like, no, fuck this shit, I just want to drink, or I just want to do this shit. But I was a little bit misguided as a kid, but I wasn't too like hardcore, you know. But shit, it was pretty crazy as I don't know, as a kid growing up and shit like that happens. But I guess it's made me stronger and made a lot of my friends stronger and more aware of our surroundings and stuff like that growing up. But
and just with going back to that point of like, because you obviously you were feeling a certain way and you were acting out a certain way, how did you kind of pull yourself back into line?
I think just hanging around with the boys, because we were a tight unit. It's like, do we go for retaliation and try and you know get revenge, or do we try and just like hold the fort together and stuff like that? So it was weird because we were so young. It wasn't like we were like gangsters or anything, but it's like, do we have to watch out around these parts of our area now? Like, if people gonna pull up and we have to like that. So I know it was small-minded shit, but that was the kind of mentality we had at the time, and stuff like that. So, but at the time, my grandmother was dying of cancer, so my mom was nursing her at home. Like, islanders, they don't want to stay in like the rest home unless they really, really have to. So so my mom's was like trying to look after me and nurse my grandparents at the same time, and I feel real bad for her because I was kind of rebellious at the time, like obviously shit that happened, and I was going off the walls, like being disrespectful, not really giving a fuck about anything, and I couldn't really see what she was going through. Like she's like 24/7 looking after my grandmother and trying to put a roof over our head and making sure I'm okay at the same time. So that's like, that kind of, now that I think about it, I'm like, damn, my mom was so strong to do that kind of shit. So
talk to us a little bit about your family, since we're there at the moment. And I've heard yourself described as being a hybrid. A hybrid.
I'm a hybrid, half caste, bro. So usually like a Afakasi is like you have a Samoan dad or a Samoan mom, and then a white dad or a white mom, but both my parents are half Samoan. And so my mom's side's half Sa and European, and my dad's side's Samoan, Māori and European. So just a little bit of hybrid. There's like other shit like German, and you might get a little bit Chinese or Japanese in there, just through colonization, through the ranks of all that shit. But that's kind of.
And has that sort of shaped your style of hip hop and the way you rap? Because when you look at your stereotype rapper, or especially today, they all look like Australians, but you have your own sort of style, which is different to everyone. And even when I look at you, I don't look at you and go, that's what people at Avondale look like. So where'd you kind of like come up with all that?
I don't know, like I just kind of, I've always had long hair, like I've always kind of, like since high school I used to have like curly hair or afro, and then I just stopped brushing it and it just turned into dreadlocks. And one day I seen like I think Ty Dolla $ign, one of his videos, and I was like looking like real close at the shit. I was like, bro, those dreads or those braids. And then one day I got my girl to just braid my dreads, and that's kind of just stuck ever since. So I'm not trying to like buy this style, but I was just like, and it keeps it way more tidy, because when I take my hair out, it's like way more shit, you know what I mean? So it just maintains it. But I've always kind of just dressed how I wanted, like op shopping and whatnot. But because
I think I've heard you in interviews talk about your style and that sort of thing, but your style to you is basically what you feel comfortable in.
It's just like whatever's like sometimes I might wear an island shirt or singlet. Like I'm not like, I don't like have like certain outfits that I prepare before the day, or if that makes sense. Always a t-shirt, or I might just go out to up shop and see something cool, or So
I'm a little bit like that, I like to just sort of, I like to have nice kicks. I'll admit that. I like to have nice kicks.
The kicks are everything.
But I just go with, I mean, look at me today. I'm wearing a white dress shirt with a black t-shirt,
vibe, man.
Bro, and I got these red ass shorts on. And they're not even the shorts you see like other Māori fellas in. These are shorts.
Your white side. The shoes. What's the shoe situation?
The shoes. I got some Air Max 90s on.
So you're safe.
Of course,
all good.
Have to.
So we're safe there. But my missus says to me every time I go out, she always gives to me, especially when I come do this, she goes, make sure you wear a shirt that makes you look good and this and that and blah blah blah. And then she'll see the shorts I'm wearing, and she'll go, those are the ugliest shorts, but man, I just feel comfortable in them.
That's the main thing,
I don't care.
Comfort is key.
Comfort is key.
What are you comfortable in?
Just whatever's there. Like I love pro clubs. Lazy pro club here and there, and just track pants or whatever's really.
You used to be a big pro club guy.
I still am.
I was gonna say.
I got a pro club
distribution or
underneath
something.
right now. But everyone like growing up was into that clean white tee. Had to be a pro club. Dickies, clean socks, Chucks, and you're good.
I always thought though, like this is just my observation growing up around Avondale and going to Central parties, but like I always thought like people from Central always dressed like fresh, like they always had the new shit, and I was always like,
really,
how do you afford that shit? Like it's like damn.
It was almost like Central guys were like almost like Harlem. Then you had
for real.
You had guys from out South Auckland looked more like West Coast.
Because they were the Ben Davies from Mangry and
sad, bro.
But I'm not trying to stereotype, but like because my cousins wore that shit too. I wore those too, but like
let's clear something up very quickly.
Disclaimer:
is Avondale West Auckland?
Man, like this is my thing now because everyone's like, boom, it's central, like, and like
I said that to these two earlier on.
Like geographically, now you look at it, it's pretty much like the gateway to West Auckland, if that makes sense.
Right.
But
The gateway to West.
yeah, but like when I was growing up, like everyone was throwing up dubs and everyone was like West Side Auckland. So that's just my mentality. Like now I represent West Auckland, and I've always been firm like West Auckland. And like if I go to Diggy Dupe or one of the Central homies, and they're like, they don't mention Avondale in Central, you know what I mean? It's always like Grey Lynn, Mount Albert, Mount Ruskell or whatever. And so yes, for me it's West Auckland. But now that the price of the house, like the houses are going up, it's Central because it's like, obviously it puts them.
It's like Rimuera. It's a big area.
Yeah, it's like get this beautiful property, Avondale, just central of Auckland, or
Bro, and that dollar dictates exactly like school boundaries, zoning, real estate property prices, all that sort of stuff. Because what was your definition of where Central ends?
So Great North Road, when the hill goes up to Blockhouse Bay Road, and then it goes into Avondale where the train tracks
Where the mosque is.
I felt so once you go up the hill, then it's like Letterbolt.
Is that from near Packensafe?
Near Packensafe,
yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, and then on the other side, there's when you get off the motorway or come from Point Chev. I reckon like just after the BP, you know, like because there's Waterview, and then it kind of turns into the lights and that. Yeah, so
Unitix, like the.
Is that one of the boundaries?
But do you know what's a weird like? Talking about areas, like I always buzz out on like Hillsborough and Linfield. Like it's a weird area. Like
I want to say,
is it Central?
Yeah, like what is it? Is it just like it's like the ugly little brother of like West or Central or wherever it is? I always buzz out on that area. I'm like, yo, what area is that?
I lived in Linfield for like a year, and I didn't know what area it was because you're kind of right on the cusp of West Auckland, but you're on the cusp of Central. But then you're also on the cusp of like South Auckland. It's like South Side as well.
I think we need to check the house prices there. We'll find out where it is.
But like I've always found it like when I go to Mount Albert, you can see the culture, you know what I mean? It's like, there's diversity. You go to Otara, you go to Mangere, you go to Avondale. But when I go like to Hillsborough or Linfield, I never see things popping. But that could be me just because I never go there. But no, if you're from Linfield, holla, let me know what goes on in your community.
Dan?
Hit up Melodownz on Facebook or Instagram and tell him what's up.
Tell him what's up.
Because did he just call Linfield the ugly stepson?
Oh shit. No, but even like when I travel around New Zealand and I'll be driving through like up north somewhere and I'll stop in like a real weird area that I've never heard of, like like you know, you blink and you miss it. And I always think like, what if the next rugby player came out of the city, or like, why isn't there no rappers out of here?
Well, it probably is, eh?
It probably is, yeah.
They're just claiming another area.
Hey, and talking about areas, you know what's going to be in the headlines tomorrow? Melodownz on podcast ran down Invercargill, Timaru, Linfield, Hillsborough.
Someone's out there making lists, bro. Oh, bro, that's another one right
there. All the real estate agents trying to sell this shit gonna come from my head, bro.
Property prices drop. You play a key role in the market.
You have no gigs in Linfield, bro.
And just lastly touching on areas, I always felt that Avondale is very different to the rest of West Auckland in the sense that, and I don't mean this in any sort of disrespect, but Avondale kind of looked like, it felt like you were in Otara. And that was, I felt like there were, the community or the council wasn't really looking after Avondale. And I think it's dope that you've put Avondale on your back, and you and the rest of the boys there doing their things. But just for yourself, how do you want to see Avondale prosper?
It's a hard one, like, because the reason why when we're going to and you see like the old shop signs and it kind of looks hood, it's because like I think this is some like Auckland Business Association shit. So from my understanding, I could be wrong. Like shout out the Kane brother, shout out I'm also
Marcus,
the boys who was holding it down right now. So before him there was a chairman. I'm not gonna say his name, but apparently he was holding the torch and he was holding the control for a long time. And I think they get some money from certain trusts to put into these
communities.
The community each year. And I'm not sure if he was doing the right thing with that money or the appropriate thing. I could be wrong, but this is what I've heard. And maybe that's why. And also, like, I think because you've got the local shop owners, and you know, when they're stuck in their ways, it's just like, oh, and it's kind of cool seeing that, like, if we're talking about like Green Jade or the
Tap House.
Tap House, or even like the bro of the Hollywood Bakery, Hollywood Cinema.
Just quickly, shout out to Flourishing Cafe.
Yo,
that is my duck joint. I drive halfway across the city. I live an hour away from the central city. That's how far I drive
straight
to
up
go to Flourishing Cafe, because their duck is legit.
Shout out.
And Shins.
Lucky Shins. Yeah. That's a staple as well.
You see, I grew up in East Auckland.
Yeah.
But I grew up in Orake, so it's kind of weird too, because we're kind of East Auckland, but we're kind of central.
Is that like near Mission Bay?
Yeah. So you know
Bastion Point.
you know where Bastion Point is.
Yeah.
You know, the beginning of really the movement for treaty settlement claims and stuff was grew out of Bastion Point or Orake, and that's where I'm from. But it was kind of always weird because we kind of called ourselves East Auckland, part of the east side, but we're like literally 5 minutes away from the CBD type of thing. So it was always kind of weird one.
Depends what form you're filling out.
If it's my my tax return form, then it's on a central. But we always kind of looked at Avondale as being part of central Auckland. Like it always felt like it was part of central for us. But I never got the idea that it was a little bit more old school or a little bit more hood than say other areas. I think compared to like Mount Albert, because Mount Albert was so well looked after, and then when St. Luke's got developed as well in the 90s, I think that changed. I think a lot of the perception shop wise of that part of Mount Albert. But you go out to, like, I can remember my mum and dad used to have they used to do headstones. So they had a headstone shop in East Tamaki. You know, just up the road from Otara. And if I compared, you know, East Tamaki and Otara to the shop wise and that to Avondale, and Avondale was like going to Ringoera type of thing. So it's interesting the different perspectives that you have depending on where you live.
I guess it is all perspective, right? Like
it's life, eh? It is. You know, even like with music, people will look at, you know, take someone's perspective of like music now, and you talk to some of us older heads who are a little bit hesitant to embrace the new that comes in. But then you get some other cats like Etsy, who's like super embracive of some of the new music that comes through. You know, maybe not all mumble rap, but you know what I mean. Life's just built around perspective.
Even like on a local buzz, like I'm always trying to make sure I always pay respect for like Scribe and all the ones before, like PNC, David Dallas, Four Corners. Like all of those guys inspired me. When I was in high school and even intermediate, I used to listen to like Breaking Records and try and find the blogs, but I never knew like what the right blogs were because I was so young. I wasn't in the know kind of thing. But from an outsider's perspective, like I was like, yo, these guys are tight.
Well, because my memories of Breaking Records were that they were like the real lyricists when it came to hip hop, and that David Dallas was there, but that's when he was Kansai, PNC
even
was there.
Cyphernetic, bro. I used to listen to their stuff on BFM. And that's crazy. And how he used to he done this to, I think, Misfits of Science or something. I was like, bro, I didn't even know there was that kind of like beef and like that form of lyricism in New Zealand. I would have been like maybe 10 or 11 or something when that came out. I was crazy.
Dang. Yeah.
We asked Tyree this question, and it probably fits in, you know, right about now. You know, who's the king of New Zealand hip hop? Like, who's the granddaddy of New Zealand hip hop? Who do you look at being on that Mount Rushmore, if we could have a Mount Rushmore of New Zealand hip hop?
Oh man, that's such a hard question because I think there's layers to it. But for me, just because I wouldn't even be here talking to you guys if it was like if I had never heard this person. So for me, it's always been Scribe. Like in terms of what he's done, like how far he's got. Like I think for me, that's like that. Yeah, for me that it would be that guy. But to me, the GOAT in terms of like lyricism, and I'm not trying to be biased because I'm from there, but Tom Scott all 100%. Day. I was like, man, I just think no one can touch Tom Scott. Pause. on any type of storytelling level, like lyricism, and someone with an intention for the people. You know what I mean? Like he's like no disrespect, but he's a working class MC. If that makes sense, like he's for the people. Like everything he does, like you see his speeches for his awards. You see him doing like real controversial like performances. trying to, you know, his template of a message is like that, and he's always been for the people. So for me, it's definitely him.
What was the group that? Sorry, what was the group that he was in?
Homebrew. Yeah, Homebrew. Yeah,
so many groups, bro. Bro, like 5 groups.
And Tom gets mad plaudits too from people inside the industry.
Yeah.
But why do you think he's constantly slept on by the market?
I think just because he doesn't what's the word? Is it constraint? He doesn't conform. He doesn't conform to that kind of sound or that kind of thing. He just does what the fuck he wants. And he got album of the year for doing a jazz record. Like who can do that? You know what I mean? He bit Benny, and Benny's killing it. He bit everyone with like records out, and these guys are signed to major labels, and he got album of the year being himself and doing exactly what he wants to do creatively or market, like everything. So yeah.
Looking at your style musically moving forward, I mean, we talk about Tom Scott with the jazz stuff. What sort of fusion do you want to ever play with?
Oh man, the thing with me, like I like to be versatile, just to have fun, just creating. I love to be versatile. So like, I love reggae, like I jam with Israel Star. I also like R&B. Yeah, I just like dabbling with things, but I still try and keep my sound within that genre, if that makes sense. Like I like to fuse it. But yeah, I hate listening. I can't really listen to something that I like because I end up trying to not trying to sound like it, but I end up sounding like it. But yeah, I just kind of just get inspired by whatever's.
Are we going to get a Melodownz rap rock album, heavy metal rap album?
I don't know if you get a rock, but man, I just love different genres, man. Like, yeah.
What was it like recording a song with Denzel Curry?
It was cool, man. It was interesting. Like, it was definitely an experience.
Were you guys in the same studio when you?
Yeah, we're in it. So
that's pretty dope.
Last trip.
Yeah, so I was having sessions with like F&Z, which is his producers. They make records for like ASAP Rocky and stuff. And this is all through my manager. He's like got plugs out there. But yeah, the first day I think I made like 3 demos with F&Z, just demos, and I like talking about manifestation. Like I had that record No Mercy like ages ago, but I really wanted him on it. Like, and then I was telling my bro Baz, like, man, I want to get Denzel on this shit. And at first it's like, you know, like, oh yo, mean, but how are we gonna make this happen? And I ended up in the studio. Like, he wasn't there, but I ended up making music in the studio with his producers, and next minute he's in the room. Like, so the stars kind of just everything aligned. You know what I mean? Like, obviously there's politics, like lawyers involved and things like that, because it's on such a high degree of business and stuff like that. But in terms of relationship, it was very organic. Like, yeah, and they fuck with me, I fuck with them. So yeah,
it's cool. And with the Dreamville stuff, did you get to work with the team within Dreamville?
So just pretty much meetings. Like, I don't want to say anything like right now because I haven't done anything on paper or anything like that. But yeah, my manager had a meeting with one of the like marketing directors of Dreamville and stuff like that. And next minute we're like having dinner and drinking with them, and I'm just like, bro, this dude is like J. Cole's homie. Like, these guys his business partners, and I'm just sitting there, and they like know who I am. And it was crazy because they even they're like, yo, y'all need to come to the Dreamville party tomorrow. And me and Baz are like, yo, let's fucking go, G. And then he like put us on the list, and I thought, you know, it'll be like shenanigans, whereas you just say your name and then you get in, and that's it. Like, then you're free to get a drink. And then as soon as I got in there, me and the bro, they just grabbed us and they're like, yo, go over to that booth, and then pointed over at the booth, and there was like bars. I think Cause was there. Mixed by Ali was there. Damn. And I was like, we're over there. It's like, yeah, go over there. They like, there's the bottles and shit. And I was like, walking up to like, I was like, me and the bro like, what the fuck should we go? Like, and I was like, nah, I don't want to bust a G. Like, fuck, what the fuck? And then we like walked up to the booth, and then Bars like saw me and it's like, oh, yo, come through. And then I introduced myself. He's like, oh, yo, Melo, you're from New Zealand. Damn, and I was just like, fuck, because his manager already had done the
put it in.
And I'm just like holding a bottle of champagne, like looking around like, the fuck is life, bro? Mixed by Ali, and bro, like, these guys I fuck with, like, in terms of hip hop in the world. I fuck with Dreamville, I fuck with TDE. So just to be like clinking bottles with them, like, was crazy. Like, I'm nowhere near where they're at, but just to share the same room, you know what I mean? And then on my way back to New Zealand, I'm on the plane with bars and stuff, and so we just ended up having this organic link up. And when they got here, they wanted to go around Auckland and stuff, so I took them to Seven. We had a feed. Yeah, took them. Yeah, I wanted to take them to Avondale. Like, yo, that's where I grew up. Nah. But yeah, I just took them around and shit. And yeah, now it's just kind of, I guess that's how the best way I like to start relationships is just through that organic process of, yo, you fuck with me not because of my music, you fuck with me as a human being. You know what I mean? And vice versa.
It's a beautiful thing.
But it was buzzy. Yeah, still buzzes me out.
So who currently in the local scene is gonna be that next big thing? Who's on your radar right now?
Fuck, I don't.
Obviously, apart from yourself.
Yeah. Well, I said next big thing, not the big thing.
Oh man, I'm still trying to get there, man. But Church and AP are killing it, man. Like it's crazy because me and Riz and Razor Beezer, we used to mentor them. So they came up through.
Yeah, they just did 660 last night.
Yeah, they just played in front of like 50,000 people.
Man, they killed it.
So yeah, they're killing it. And so they're on my like up there. I got these brothers Shiraz and Alice J. They're some young cats. They got some real cool shit coming through too. I fuck with all the underground cats like even Ranui Maz. He's like he's like West Auckland's Tupac. Like, and I don't say that to be like he's biting the style, but when you hear his energy and his mana and his voice, that shit crazy. So shout out Ranui Maz and yeah, those dudes I reckon are the future right now.
I heard that Scribe. I was talking to one of the boys and they said that Scribe put something up and I was like Crusader 2000 AD. Yeah. Is the AD anything to do with Avondale or is that?
I wish, bro.
Or was that after death?
I wish, man. I wish, bro. I was actually with him in the weekend. I linked up with him. He came over to. I did this little shindig at this pool and he rolled through. Him and his son rolled through actually. Show some love. Fleurs from Welly came through. Foot Soldiers. So to me, I did a video shoot and I just asked the bro and he was already in Auckland. So Scribe came through and then he must have hit up Fleurs. And to me, like them just being there, I'm just like looking like, bro, this is crazy. I used to look at these dudes on TV, like when the bros like hands like then you see Fleurs' tattoo. Yeah, and just like so for me to have them there was like a moment. I know it might be casual for others, but to me that was a memory I'm gonna like remember for the rest of my life. Like in terms of I guess it's cool for hip hop history as well, you know? Yeah.
So you're a bit of a fight fan?
Yeah,
you love a UFC. We've talked about the relationship with Justin Tuffer and his brother Junior. Yeah. Itzy filled me in. He's a glory fighter in China.
Yeah, in Europe.
In Europe, yeah. Okay, but he's tied into glory, kickboxing. For you, what got you interested in UFC? Or in MMA? Or combat sports, let's say. Let's open it right up.
I think just as I was gonna say as a boy, but as a male, you know, like as a man with testosterone running through my veins every now and then, like I like a little bit of violence, you know what I mean? I like watching fighting and growing up in Avondale was like,
going to house parties,
homies always scrapping, even like going to Central and getting into a scrap with some of those cats or going Southside, going to a fight. Like you always get into a fight, like growing up, you know? And so that was kind of just like, if it wasn't me, it would have been the homies or go to Highbury after school. It's a street, like a cul-de-sac where everyone used to fight, and I was kind of just, it's like, if there's a fight at school, you know, after school, are you just going to go home or are you going to go watch a fight? Like 9 times out of 10, you're going to go watch a fight. So I think it's just a thing that we like violence. Like, I don't condone it, but professionally, it's cool.
I think because we're also like a warrior. We come from warrior nation, so it's
warrior people.
It's embedded in our blood. To kind of see, you know, a little bit of physical harm, you know. As long as it's legal
in a controlled environment.
Controlled environment.
That's cool.
Not on Canal Street.
Wow.
But one thing I don't condone is like I feel alcohol and drugs in New Zealand is poisoning our people. You know what I mean? And like, because that's why we got into a lot of fights is because. Obviously we come from, our ancestors are warriors and our ancestors fought for their tribes and whatnot, but it's just like, bro, we getting drunk and we getting on drugs and we just fighting each other.
Well, we as a people, and I'm talking about Māori, Pacific Island Polynesians,
that's what I mean.
We struggle, to be honest, when it comes to, I think, outlets for our emotions.
Yeah,
you know, man, I've had the brothers here will tell you, both Itzy and Rocky will tell you, like I go through ups. In fact, anyone who listens to the podcast recently will tell you, I go through ups and downs, you know, but we struggle, I think, as strong warrior type mentality to find the right outlet to be able to release some of those emotions and some of those energies. And I think that gets reflected in how we behave when we're drunk, or how we behave when we're in a stressful situation. You know, we got some shocking statistics when it comes to suicide, when it comes to domestic violence, when it comes to child abuse within our cultures. And you know, I think we need to work out as a people how we can find those right outlets, because and everyone's different, but
amen, bro.
But there's got to be some answers for us, and because you're quite a strong spiritual person, I would gather, because you seem to be one with the universe, and you love to give.
Try to be, even though I love my fried chicken and all that, but you know. But
man, everyone loves fried chicken. Wow,
everyone in this table.
Everyone at this table loves some.
Don't put your hands up if you love fried chicken.
Yeah.
But of course, yeah.
You know, so I mean, when you look at those sorts of statistics and how our people find ourselves in those situations, I mean, what's the solution?
Man, like, I wish I had it. I wish I had a solution. I'm still trying to figure out that myself, but
that's real.
I think just like having spaces where you can be vulnerable, you know what I mean? And I know it's hard for me, like it's easy to say but hard to do. Like, obviously people's different cultural backgrounds, sometimes they just don't allow you to have that space, but I think if we could start kind of making that space in communities, like especially for like how we were putting little programs like in Mount Roskill and doing these things, it's cool because it attracted people that were going through some stuff, like some kids and
shout out to Rise.
Shout out to Rise as well, and they were coming through, and at first they won't want to talk, and once they open up and the trust is there, they start telling us what's going on in their life. And I feel like not even trying to help this person, but just listening to them and just having time, that healed them in a certain way. It's like, oh shit, maybe I can kind of get some help, or I can get some support here. But yeah.
Because how do you deal with stress or, you know, emotional tension? You know, I don't want to say mental health issues. But how do you deal with aspects of, you know, those effects that might have on you, whether it be stress or whatever?
I just like to do some therapeutic shit. Like, I might go for a walk somewhere, I'll take my dog for a walk, just some like shit to clear my head. Because when I'm indoors, I always feel depressed. Like, if I'm going through something, it just makes it worse, you know? Like, so yeah, just getting vitamin D, or just going to the beach, or just, I don't know, that's what I do. I like to go into nature and just go for a walk and shit, or write music, of course, but that's a given. But yeah.
Because Rocky, you've joined a little bike crew, little team that
shout out to the Pedal Pirates, man.
Pedal Pirates. So, I mean, tell us about the Pedal Pirates. Tell us about the brothers who got it started, and whether or not that plays a part in releasing some of those or being an outlet for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to DJ Spence. He kicked it off.
Foreign Faders,
my Foreign Fader brothers. He just jumped on a bike. I think he's encouraged by his mother-in-law, who's an avid rider, and then he just recruited us, and next minute we're all rolling together, you know. And it's been really cool, just the camaraderie, everyone together, getting outdoors. I think is the main thing. What Melo just mentioned. One of the guys in the crew, he just told us last week, like during the week, he doesn't leave the house, you know, like that's the first thing he really does to get out and about. And so, you know, it's kind of eye-opening. Like, you don't really know what other people are doing with their spare time, kind of sometimes, and just to be out there. We active, we're doing cool stuff, we're hanging. It's good, man.
With cool, like-minded people.
Yeah, everyone's cool. And you can talk about your stuff or not talk about your stuff, but you're just knowing that other people are around, I think, and having that company is a massive thing, to know that you're not alone, you know. Yeah.
What about you, Etz? Because I know, you know, all through my life, Etz is one of the stronger brothers to me, you know, that's been able to be a shoulder at times for me and some of the other brothers to lean on. But you must go through times where there's lows and... you know?
And I've done a lot of things in my life that I'm not proud of. And, you know, to be honest, I found myself in front of a judge realizing that I had to change my life. And that was because I wasn't addressing a lot of the pain and hurt. And I was reflecting that by doing bad stuff. So, but a lot of it is, I find for myself, is if you're not wanting to make the change yourself, it doesn't matter what everyone else is trying to say to you. You're not going to have a bar of it. But it's definitely keeping the right, and that's probably one of the hard things is keeping the right people around you, because sometimes the people that you grew up with or some of your closest friends can be part of the problem, and it's being able to understand like how much energy you give to certain places. But then again, it's having friends like Dan, Russ, and all the other boys that I hang out with, they keep me in check, so if I start doing stuff that starts to get a bit out of line, it doesn't matter, what status of things I do. I know that when they say something to me, I know that it comes from a place of love. So I have to like, cool. Like, don't let my ego go, do you know who I am? None of that buzz. But you just got to find what works for you. Yeah.
I know for me, I used to like bottle shit up all the time. And I would go through these months where I'd be all cool, and then I'd just explode, and it wouldn't be just like a boop, it would be a like a major explosion. And the ability to be able to put yourself into circles where you can have an outlet and talk and discuss these things. I keep my circles like pretty small. I used to think it was important to have as many people around me as possible and to be as friendly as I could with as many people. But, the real ones at the end of the day were the ones that were there when you need it, or when you need to talk to people and that sort of thing. And so I've sort of learnt to, tighten up my circle a little bit, not try to be such a I was a people pleaser for a long time, like really big time, whether it be people I was working with in a professional capacity or family or whatever, It's crazy because I think coming from a Māori family where there's expectations around playing a role in the whānau development, if you know what I mean, because you've got all these, within Māori culture, you got land or whatever. Some families don't know what to do with it. So there's an expectation that when you get into a position of responsibility, you make the right moves on behalf of your family and all of that sort of stuff. And it's real tough, burdening, so it's interesting to be able to have a conversation, also for people to relate to what you've got to say. I can remember, I know I'm taking this a bit about me right now, but man, I was having a lull period, and I've started expressing it on social media for the last couple of years. I never used to because I was worried about how I'd look, but I started expressing it on social media because that was the outlet that I was relying on. And man, Stylebender reached out to me, Izzy reached out to me, and I wouldn't say I'm like, I'm not his best mate, but I would say that I know him through Etsy and I've been able to meet him. But for him to see me in a time of struggle and then reach out to me in a DM and say,
"That's real,
bro," I tell you what, that was some real ish at the time, because I probably hadn't spoken to him in like 3-4 years, and he's now become this big megastar. And then he just happened to see a post that I did. It was something, little bit trivial, but little bit, opening up, and he reached out and was like, get together with the lads, go for walks, go do these things. So it's funny, like 3 people in front of me who I'm sitting here with a great amount of respect for, all on a similar level when it comes to advice, when it comes to dealing with outlets and those sorts of issues. So you go.
I was just gonna ask, what's next? What's next for Melodownz? Have we got any music projects that we're currently working on? Or
I got a new single coming out like soon, and gonna drop a video as well. And just got an EP coming out next couple months. So just nothing's announced like officially, but that's what's on my agenda, and just trying to do some more cool shit, man. I want to try to be more innovative and just like be more refreshing, if that makes sense, because I know a lot of music can start to sound the same and stuff like that. So I don't know, just trying to have fun with it, and it's a vibe.
Has any of the drill rappers from Australia, have they ever reached out to do a record with you, or is that something that would?
I'm always keen. Like I love like what 1-4 has done in terms of not just drill, just for Polynesians. Like people are looking at us now.
Awareness.
It's crazy. especially in Australia. But I took the bros out when they were here. It was cool to link up with them and their manager and stuff like that. And I also had a few words with Hooligan Hefs because I took over his spot for Rhythm and Vines, and I felt like awkward, like, oh man, what if people were just there for him, and then I get draked, like how we got draked at the Tyler the Creator show. But it was the opposite. I got the bro to do a little video, and so we played a couple of his songs during my set, and so yeah, no, he seems like a cool dude behind all the beef. I didn't even know the dynamic of that beef, but yeah, no, it's cool.
It's shit what's happening though with 1-4 and those gigs though.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, all of the drill, whether it be HP Boys, 21 District, they're all getting.
Yeah.
But two of them are now locked up.
Yeah.
But all these gigs getting cancelled. So and just recently they were supposed to be doing a bushfire appeal concert.
Yeah, that's right.
And that got shut down as well. So I don't know what the authorities, the police in New South Wales and Victoria think are going to happen when you get a bunch of Polynesians rapping along to songs that they all know the words to.
Yeah, it's exactly like NWA all over again.
Yeah.
But it's Nesians with attitude, you know what I mean? Like they were shutting their shows down for no particular reason because they thought it would be like some kind of danger to the public or whatever.
Yeah.
So even Sid, young Sid, when he was doing his thing, when he was young Sid, the police would come to his shows and you know they'd be standing in the front row and stuff. It's just the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
Do you think that has anything to do with the image and the content of their lyrics?
Yeah, I think it does. Like, just what if 1-4 was a reggae group? You wouldn't see, you know what I mean? You wouldn't see cops coming rolling up, you know what I mean?
Was it peace signs in one hand, gang signs in the other?
Yeah. So like, I think it's got a lot to do with the content, but then I don't know, maybe some of them have criminal history. I don't know what the buzz is, but yeah.
That's gangster rap, you know.
Gangster rap.
It's gangster rap for you.
No doubt.
Yeah.
If you were to give one message out to just anyone that's sitting there listening or watching the podcast, if you could give them one message from Melodownz, what would that be?
Mellow 2020 season is about to be a thing.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, like, whatever you do in life, just have the right intention behind it, you know what I mean? And just try and spread as much love as you can in this crazy ass world, because I feel love is the biggest weapon that you can have.
Brother,
that's deep.
Appreciate it. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, man. It's a pleasure. Straight up. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, straight up. You've been awesome. Rocky Ponning.
Thank you very much.
Surprise special guest tonight to come sit along.
Yeah, man. Thanks, guys. It's been awesome.
It's been awesome. And it's been awesome to be able to sit down and chat with everybody. Best of luck to everybody. Rocky, always. Melodownz.
Thank you.
The year of 2020, the year of Melodownz is coming out. It's a real thing.
Light side.
And from us, you guys have a good week. This is Kulture.